times to discover traces of the story of Adam and Eve among the Babylonians. These attempts are interesting chiefly as illustrations in the domain of science of the wish being father to the thought. George Smith, in his Chaldean account of Genesis, devoted a few pages to indications of supposed parallels between the biblical account of the fall of man and the contents of an Assyrian tablet, belonging to the so-called Creation series. We now know that Smith's interpretation of the tablet was totally erroneous. What he took for an address of a god to the first human pair turns out to be a hymn in praise of Marduk as the conqueror of Tiamat, the symbol of primeval chaos, together with an epilogue in which mankind is enjoined not to forget the tale of the contest of the great Marduk, a god whose power is irresistible, but who turns in mercy toward those whom he loves. Smith also called attention to the design on a Babylonian cylinder, which consisted of two sitting figures with a tree between them and a serpent behind one of the figures. In this representation, Smith saw a confirmation of the view which supposed that the Bible story of the temptation and fall was familiar to the Babylonians and Assyrians. This evidence, too, has proven fallacious. I view this position with great curiosity and with some level of rebellion. George Smith was a self-taught researcher with a deep-rooted fascination for biblical stories. His passion led him to immerse himself in the study of the ancient Mesopotamian civilization, spending countless hours at the British Museum in London, where he meticulously studied cuneiform tablets. Smith's dedication and innate skill in deciphering the cuneiform script caught the attention of Henry Rawlinson, a pioneer in the field who had previously deciphered the Behistun inscription in Iran, a declaration from Darius I, the king of Persia, between 1835 and 1843. Rawlinson, who was overseeing the vast collection of tablets brought from the library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh, recognized Smith's unique ability to determine which fragment fit with another, thus reconstructing the ancient narratives from a table laden with broken clay tablets. In 1861, the British Museum officially employed Smith to organize the extensive collection of tablets, a role that allowed him to delve deeper into the mysteries of the ancient texts. His relentless pursuit of knowledge led him to a groundbreaking discovery in November 1872, when he unearthed the account of the flood, a story echoed in biblical tales, albeit in a fragmented form. Driven by a desire to complete the story, Smith embarked on a series of expeditions funded first by the London Daily Telegraph in exchange for exclusive rights to the findings, and later sponsored by the British Museum. Smith's expeditions to Nineveh were not just a quest for missing pieces, but a journey into the ancient past, unveiling not only lost tablets, but also fragments that chronicled the succession and duration of the Babylonian dynasties. However, the journey was not without its perils. In August 1876, while in Nikischi, a small Syrian village located 100 kilometers from Aleppo, Smith fell gravely ill with acute dysentery. The mystery surrounding his untimely death on August 19, 1876, in Aleppo, remains, leaving a void in the field of Assyriology. Despite the tragic end, George Smith left behind a legacy of immense contributions to the understanding of our ancient past, including 8 significant works encompassing linguistic studies, historical works, and translations of vital Mesopotamian literary texts. His death is a mystery that marks the end of a remarkable journey of a man who dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of our ancient past, leaving an indelible mark on the field of historical linguistics and Assyriology. Smith discovered the story of the flood before the Bible and shocked the society of the time with his incredible discoveries, translations, and conclusions written in his book, The Chaldean Account of Genesis. I wonder, however, why the current conclusions are to simply consider the image as a portrayal of something common and nothing different and special. Besides this, I lose myself in thoughts about the truths we find when observing the Mesopotamian tablets and the history that can be assembled from studying them. I am frightened to think how our world is grounded on outdated stories and dogmatisms that contribute to our mental and spiritual blindness in all fields of life. If we observe with depth and seriousness, we would see that Smith, one of the first men to come into contact with these texts and this cylindrical seal, attested to the fact of the anteriority of the myth of the fall of man in relation to the Hebrew Bible. And even more forcefully, we would realize that there was not the supreme God, the creator of all things, who have expelled Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. It would have been, however, that well-known set of deities worshipped in Sumer, Akkad, and Assyria, called the Anunnaki. So we understand that we are not born sinners, and we are automatically free from original sin. What impact would it have if such knowledge were openly disclosed to a large number of people? This knowledge would be liberating, and often freedom is not the main pursuit of the world's rulers. The Anunnaki are the Elohim and play a crucial and decisive role in the creation of humanity. Some of these Elohim seem to want the good of humanity, while others seem to disagree with the treatment that was offered to us. If we separate from the main story what hides under the name of Elohim, the plural which also means Neteru or Anunnaki, we can easily observe the great farce that was told to us and that remains as a theater for the control of the masses. For all intents and purposes, this cylindrical seal is popularly known as the cylindrical seal of Adam and Eve, or the cylindrical seal of temptation. Tell us in the comments what you think this image represents and why its existence is not widely and generally known. If today's experts claim that its representation is of something so common, why is this knowledge not widely disseminated? I believe in the extreme opposite. I suspect that this cylindrical seal really portrays the Garden of Eden, Adam, Eve, the serpent, and the forbidden fruit.
That here on Earth we're dealing with something that could be called the Hidden Directorate, a directing force of intelligent beings who may even be our progenitors, and have been working with humanity ever since we began evolving on this planet, and will intervene at key points to try to nudge our development in a certain direction.
Why were some of our ancestors told to construct a building? Or to...
They're highly secretive. They have knowledge. Marian Fussel from Göttingen.